Are we still recording and posting on YouTube?
Yes, we are. I'm at least posting on YouTube. Are you?
Perfecto. No, I'm not posting on YouTube.
No?
No.
Okay, coffee taste. Let's start this episode with tasting the coffee that our barista... Is that how you say in English? Barista?
Barista. Yeah, I think that's how you...
Sophia has made for me. So I'm going to do a taste test. Visually, it looks good. Could be more. Just kidding.
Could be some improved latte art there.
Exactly. Yeah. But let's try it. Should you swirl it like you do with wine? Like?
I don't think no one wants to hear that.
No. There's actually in Sweden we have something called sommarprat, which is basically every summer there is the Swedish radio releases an interview or like basically a podcast with one person talking about their journey and all that stuff. And there was one wine person that was last year, I think, and she was talking and then she ate stuff like strawberries, and it was very like...
What?
And I was like, oh my god, I turned it up because I couldn't hear it.
But why did she do that?
But she talked about, flavors and stuff like that combined with wine. So it made sense for her to do it.
Engaging.
But yeah, it was just weird listening to it. So I promise you, I will not slurp this episode.
But I mean, if you go on TikTok, let's talk about soup dumplings and mukbangs. Like the slurp...
That have become a so huge thing recently.
Have you tried soup dumplings?
No, but I've tried sushi. And that's very popular. Super weird. But no, I tried dumplings, not soup dumplings, I think.
No, same.
I have tried soup dumplings.
Oh, you have?
Yeah, at Miss Von, it's called, a restaurant in Stockholm.
Oh, very nice. Very nice.
Very
Remember
nice.
when we were there?
Yes.
And we did the whole tasting menu.
Yes, the whole, and with exactly.
Yum.
I think it was then I did it, so you probably did it.
Right, they had dumplings.
Yeah.
Oh, that was like
I was the only
before the trend.
I was the only one that actually did the whole tasting menu and drinks, and you guys were like, I'm just gonna pick and think. So I sat there
was hilarious.
getting so much food and wine and all that stuff. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, you had a party. We all had a party, but your party was like 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's 100%. Good.
Cool.
So another important question that I have. Well, I have two important questions. One, how was your holiday break? Did you get some time to relax or was it work? How's Christmas?
No, but for once, I think I did nothing work related for, I don't know, 12 days or something. The only thing I did work related was sending an invoice, which is the fun part. So I don't mind that part.
That one is the good part.
Exactly. So I sent that. But otherwise I was just chilling. I spent actually a lot of time on TikTok. People can think, did you spend time with your family? I did as well. But I spent a lot of time on TikTok, and I realized that TikTok has become such a huge inspiration for me when it comes to creating content, because every trend, everything, all it feels how people can put in like a day in a life of something into a short video and make it entertaining just amazes me. And it gave me so much inspo for, creating content with people working at an employer. So,
and I think it's also really like we all have different interests, etc. So I mean, we all find inspiration in different things, but I 100% agree with you, like tutorials, seeing how other people do things like that's really like awesome to look at from like an audience point of view.
Yeah. And I think it was so interesting, and I think I didn't say I didn't work in anything, but like I always think of stuff that is related to this. So I did work some, but
but you could still be off. That's nice.
Yeah.
Very
and
nice.
Just to say, I have a cough, so if I need to cough sometimes, I will try to put the mic as far away as possible from my mouth, and then I will cough. But I'm sorry to everyone.
We lost everyone. Shut down
everyone
now.
just quit now.
That's it.
Yeah, the average, usually the average listening time is like 90%. It's gonna be 1% this episode.
Yep.
So yeah.
Yeah, that's gonna pull down our data here.
Yeah.
No,
Oh well,
that's
how
fine.
was your Christmas break?
It was lovely. I didn't do anything really. I spent time with family and just relaxed. I think it was more about like, you know, fueling up your batteries again. I felt like running into the vacation that was not the best, you know, when you're like building up with things and you're like, oh, I need to get all of this done before I go. And then you kind of like run into the vacation and your stress level is like going through the roof.
Yeah.
So it was really good to just like take a step back and like, okay, calm down.
Yeah.
It's okay. Like you have done great things. So calm down and just get yourself centered and balanced again. So it was really nice just being off, spending a lot of time with friends and family and, you know, eating probably too much. But hey, that's a
Great
part of
food,
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, on that topic, we have one of the our chief people officer at Funnel, Sabina. She has every year. I've worked there for 2 years now, 2 Christmases, and she always say that the deadlines for every project you work on is the last of November, not in December.
Oh.
Because everything that you try to finish in December usually don't get finished because there's, you know, you have all these days building up to Christmas and then it's like the Christmas break and some people are off, you know, you're never going to get it done before the last of December. So we always put our deadlines last of November, which I think is a super easy thing, but we also tend to finish more projects. And then we don't have that super high stress level in December. We can work on project that is not involving with so many stakeholders and, you know, planning for next year and whatever. So I mean,
Nice.
tip.
That's
on-
a way to work on it.
Yeah, I think she has done. She's been around many different companies, so I think she's learned during these years that this is probably the best way. So
Yeah. It's
Trust
just, you know,
experience.
like ending the year, that's when you really like want to get stuff done and you want to squeeze out that last bit of everything that you can. So it's,
Yeah.
I think we've all been there. That's you like, you try to just squeeze.
yeah,
The
yeah,
time.
yeah.
But yeah, maybe we should change deadlines. Like November, maybe.
It's the best to do it. Yeah.
Yeah, it
Because
could
the
be.
summer is different, like the spring summer, because that's so much longer. The
Yeah.
autumn is like August to December. It's not very long. So
Yeah.
Well,
And
not even that. Like September, people are away in August. So
Yeah, true. Yeah, now all the red days are coming up in Sweden as well. So
Yeah.
it's a tricky time actually working
Yeah.
in like spring or I guess winter,
Yeah,
spring
winter,
in
spring.
Sweden.
and now we talked 8 minutes about nothing related to
Great.
the employer branding.
Well, I think sometimes lifestyle podcast is what's
Yeah,
trending.
yeah.
No, just kidding.
I mean, we need to include ourselves as well, showing that we're humans.
Right.
But today we have a very interesting topic. This episode is 1 week delayed because last week when we were going to record this, I get a text message just when I'm about to step outside my door from you saying the tram that I need to take to you is not going. I was like, what?
Yeah.
And then I looked on a newspaper and it's a tram has crashed into
They collided with a truck.
with a truck. So there was like total stop. And the only other way for me to go there was to take the bus. And obviously the bus, the what's it called? The truck. I was like, come on. The truck,
The truck.
Was blocking the way as well.
Yeah.
So that
No.
couldn't pass either. So, you know, I was like,
It was
and we tried to think like, okay, should we wait or should we like? But you had stuff to do. I will have more free time. I was like, okay, let's just do it next week or something. And we talked about doing it on Sunday and then Monday and then like a week late.
Yeah, I know. Sometimes it's really hard to find, you know, a good spot to have these conversations. But
100%.
hey, we're doing it. We're here another
Spending
year.
a morning. It's like it's 8:20 and we love taking this morning's coffee and like this. This is so funny because this was actually what we did prior to this. Like we met for coffee in the morning and then we just sat for an hour or something, just talked about employee branding and stuff around that, and then we went to our work.
Imagine how much money we spent on coffees.
Yeah, I mean we had there was a period of time where I have a separate column in my budget saying coffee.
Yeah, I had that too.
When we worked together, we used to work next to a coffee place.
Yep.
That was super nice. And
Shout out to Muffin Bakery. Is that
Muffin
what it's called?
Bakery, yeah. Yeah, and it was super nice. And the guy who worked there, we loved him. He like even got.
He is awesome.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I need to
so
go
good.
back.
If he
to just say
listens,
hi.
you're the best.
Yeah.
But
He made our days.
No, but he was like, when you came in, he was like the regular. I was like, yes. And I had like a dairy. No, what's it called? Lactose.
Oh, you're
dairy.
Dairy
free.
Yeah.
Cappuccino with double shot. That was my thing, and he always knew
that's
that.
the best.
And he always like give it a good price, and so then I spent a lot of
but
money.
it was on good conversations though, and like you said, that's really.
And in the spring we sat outside. It was listen to Italian music.
Good times. But I mean, hey, we're doing it now inside and recorded, and I really hope that the ones who's listening to this podcast is actually just, feeling like they're a part of this conversation as well, because this is really like when we did our very first episode, we said that this is the place where you come when you can kind of say, hey, right now I suck at my job. I don't know what to do. I'm blocked. Or I did this really cool thing, or I found this inspiration. What do you think about it? Like, this is just a place where you can come and dump your ideas or thoughts, emotions. Let's bring the emotions as well. And then we can just detangle it and just talk about it. And help each other. So good. But today's topic, you asked me like, hey, what should we talk about? And I'm like, that's a really good question. We ended with data and metrics. That was fun. But where should we start 2024? And I didn't have like the perfect answer. I don't think there is one perfect solution to this. But I thought maybe we can talk a little bit about career pages. Yeah. Now everyone's going like, woo, the crowd went wild. Yep, awesome. Glad to have you. No, but so right now I'm really looking into, I'm asking myself, that's how I should put it. I'm asking myself, what is a good career page? What should it be? And right now I want everyone to kind of like remove everything that you know about a career page. Think of a blank paper. What should it be? Who goes there? What's the need of a career page? Do you even need one? Maybe not. If you do, what should be on it? And that's what I want to talk to you about today. Just hearing your thoughts about it, because I think there's so much you can do. I think there's limited time and resources, or endless. Like, depends on how you see it. But I know that you have worked with career pages, designing them, filling them with content, etc. And I've done the same. So kind of just want to open the conversation on that note.
So I'm glad you took this topic up, because I'm literally in the end phase of redesigning the career page sales funnel.
Oh, sweet. Perfect timing.
And we kind of decided to go. So I always see a career page. When I say career page, I always look like a business to business company. How are they structured, their content and stuff like that?
Business campaigns.
Business to business.
Business to business. Yep.
Websites.
Yep.
So how are they structuring their website and so on? And what they do very, very good is that they have clear call to actions. They have endless content like blog posts and stuff like that also reference into other interesting topics. So they keep the user always like want to read more and discover more and get interested in the topic and like get to know. Eventually they're gonna get to know the product and the company, all that stuff. So with that said, I took a lot of inspiration looking at business to business, and we kind of decided on building a career site where we have one main page from the beginning, of course, like everyone has, and then building down. So we're making it basically, the further down in the rabbit hole you go, the more niche the content gets. So we have the front page, then we have department pages, and under each department we have team pages. So for example, the talent team. So that's under the people organization, the department.
Right. So talent team sits with, so it's people and culture.
Yeah, and then it's talent. Is the team. Yeah, and then the HR have their own page, and office have their own, and we can niche down the content and include content that we have produced. So like blog post, LinkedIn post, we can include and showcase it there, making it so if you are a candidate and you're doing your research, because that's usually where you if you're gonna apply for a job, you usually do a lot of research. I do, at least. And I think most people, and they want to read about, you know, challenges. People get to like kind of feel they get to know people there before they even apply or after they applied, making it so they can read and get to know the company and the culture. Right. And that's what we basically did. So we made pages, sub-pages that are pretty niche towards that audience, making it so when a talent person that is interested in talent comes in, they can read about the people in the team, they can read about, you know, common questions. Like they have every page has an FAQ. So like, and we get so many questions during the recruitment process that we can write there and answer. And, you know, there could be stuff like, which programs do you use? Which, you know, what's that? Stuff like that, easy stuff. And we haven't launched it yet, but we built the structure, and I like the structure, and I think that the feedback I have gotten is that it's pretty nice. But it's nice to see how, you know, we can reference towards. So if they go to Talentry, we can reference the blog post, and if they go to a blog post, we can reference to another blog post. You know, we can make that rabbit hole just go deeper and deeper, and they can get to know the company more and more. And the candidate eventually is gonna be like, I know, because there's needs so many pieces to like actually convince someone. And we also use all these pieces in the recruitment process, sending, you know, hey, read this blog post, and, you know, get that candidate that we like to be more like get a bond with the company. So, you know, so we have I think we have a very low declining rate on offers, for example, because once they get
from your side or from candidates' side?
From the candidate. So
okay.
like we get the candidate. If we have a great candidate, we go through the whole process. We usually get them.
Sweet.
Which is super cool. We use, and they also reference a lot to this content pieces.
Nice.
So that's by kind of, with that there comes a lot of, you know, other stuff, measuring. We do a lot of measuring. We can always see like how many people are visiting this page, how many of this page, how long are they staying, you know, and we constantly use this data to like evaluate what people are going and what they want to read. So with that said, I think I kind of want career sites to be more optimized, you know, optimized for conversion, optimized for the user, because usually it's like, this is nice, we should have it.
Yeah. And I think that's what's like sometimes blocking me, that it's a little bit inside out perspective. Like, this is what we want to showcase. And of course there's a fine line of like what you want to showcase, but also meet the user needs. Like, what do they care about? What is it that they want to see on
and
there?
Look on the data.
Exactly. But I like everything that you say, and I think it's very important that, like, that's an awesome way to showcase the org chart without having, you know,
exactly
that image just printed on, because that's like, okay, that gives the overall, like, okay, this is your tree, this is how you have decided to organize yourself as an organization. But when you can see it, like, okay, so the people and culture team, the big team, this is their philosophy, this is how they work, but also they have the different individual teams, come and meet TA, this is how TA works. Like, that's really good to help the user, to guide them in that sense. But one thing that I'm a little bit like excited about and wish to see more about, or see more of, is building the page as like a pre-onboarding site, to kind of like bring someone in. You know how companies, they have events and they're like, hey, this is how we work with this and this and that and all these things. What if we could turn career pages to more of that type of style? So it's more like a learning page. For example, if I go to Funnel, I can learn about TA. I can actually learn from you guys that, like, oh, you're using this and this. That's awesome. That's a metric that I'm also like, that I'm curious to hear more about or learn how you work with it. You and I, we talked about applications just before we started recording. Like, how do you measure qualified applications, these things? Like, what if I can actually pick on the team that I'm interested in and learn from them, and perhaps not with the eyes of like, okay, I want to become one of them, but more that I want to learn from them. That can then in a later stage be that you're like, well, now I'm basically onboarded to Funnel. We align on how we work and how we want to do things. Like, imagine if you could measure that streamline then of having someone then in the onboarding process, because they're basically up and running because they are so filled into what we're doing. And maybe that's what people build into their recruitment processes, that they want to have that more locked in and not share it. But then could you maybe build pages on your career page with links that you're just sending, to people, so that the ones with the link can open it and that it's not open to the wider public? I don't know. I'm just thinking that what if we make it less about we're awesome and instead have more like come and learn from us.
I mean, it's
like more of the pioneering mindset than like we're awesome, we're changing the world. Good. How
exactly? No, but I think that's a really interesting way of looking at it. And I think a bunch of companies, if you Google something, quality of application, whatever, you're gonna get a lot of hits on Google, but it's gonna be from companies that sells a platform or something related to it. So they're actually, it's only used from a business to business perspective to educate the potential customer, but it's very interesting for you to educate the potential candidate as well, and also drive, like with that it comes SEO and stuff. You can drive traffic to your career site as well. So I think it's an interesting way of doing it. I think the only thing that's making this not happen as much is time, basically.
It's
prioritizing that, and there's a lot of research there, so it takes a lot of time to writing. Even though if you have AI or whatever, you can probably hack it together, but it still needs to be nice for the reader to read and like interesting and give value. So
but what about, this is just spitting out ideas, what if you record like a meeting, or what if you record a lunch and learn, like whatever thing you have at work, when someone internally is sharing something about their passion or their talent or their expertise, what if you record that? And of course take out the confidential parts. Like, I'm not saying that you should just like boom push
here's
it
our
out.
Numbers.
Here's our numbers. No, but you know what I mean, like having that lunch and learn vibe where everyone in the company gets to hear the same thing, and then when you're outside you're like, oh, I was a part of their event ish, but not really.
No,
I don't know the solution to it, but
but I think Mentimeter did this. They had their all hands streamed on LinkedIn to everyone. Obviously, I think it was, they didn't go into the numbers and stuff like that, but they kind of gave the vibe of their, like all the employees were sitting there and all that stuff, and they had cameras like filming and employees talking about a new update on the product and whatever. I think that was very interesting to see. Sorry for my cough. And I was looking at it and it looks nice. I mean, and that kind of gives, the whole gatekeeping thing just disappears. Even though maybe there are gatekeeping stuff, like they can't show the actual numbers.
No,
obviously.
of course
not. They have
but is that
competitors.
gatekeeping?
No, it's not.
That's
no.
being like,
Reasonable.
Yeah.
You have investors that you need to please, and you can't just do whatever you want. But I think that was a really cool thing to do, and I think that a lot of companies could benefit from doing similar stuff. Yeah,
because I think that would like you said, take down the wall between of what we sell. Like, come into this company and this is what you get. Like, this is the picture that we're painting for you. But then when you join that first all hands, you're like, this, you said that it was like a movie theater and that it was like surround systems and everything, and then it's just not that. And I'm not saying that that's what people sell, and it's not on the all hands meeting where you lose your talents, but it's that whole vibe of like, okay, so what is the actual experience when you're inside the company?
Yeah, and I think that's what we want to know.
Yeah, and
that's why content is good.
Right. And I think that the content itself can come in different shapes and forms. Yep. But I want that to be the focus on the career pages. Like, this is the experience that you get with us, because you're going to have one experience with Lunar, you're going to have one experience with Funnel, and they fit people differently, which is good. Awesome. Then we have places for different people to work and be happy. So that's good, but that's what I want to see. And I want to see that you know, not the scripted parts, not that. I mean, some maybe some things has to be scripted, but nevertheless, that's not the point of it. The point is that I want to capture the true experience.
Yeah. Yeah.
Without, of course, spoiling sensitive information.
I think
but
that's a thing you need to kind of test yourself towards.
yeah,
There's no unified answer for every organization out there.
no.
So, I mean, Lunar is obviously a bank, which makes it sometimes more difficult
100%.
because you can't say whatever. If you work in an, I don't know, heavily competitive space where you can't, like, if you spoil this sensitive thing, like spoil these things, they could be an advantage.
Yeah, that could be a huge damage.
So I think that every organization needs to sit down and be like, okay, what can we share externally? And usually that ends with, you know, let's be on the safe side. You know, it's always that.
Yeah, it's
But
always
I
that.
would love to see companies being more daring, like, here's this, and like they know that it's not gonna be any big thing.
No.
Because everyone wants to know and see how we work, how we do stuff. I think that's what's making people like switch companies, because they say, oh, wow, they work in this way. I think that's super exciting.
But what about also the perspective of teasing your competitors? Because say, for example, that you're in this highly competitive markets.
Yeah.
I mean, we all fight over talents. Let's be honest here.
Yeah.
And people jumps from, like in the banking industry, they tend to jump around, and then we have like, you know, the big dragons up there. People just jump in between them. But what if, hear me out, what if you have, and I'm not saying the career page maybe is the place, but what if you build a place where you educate, again, going into that pioneering mindset, where you actually spend a lot of time of just sharing how you run projects, why you choose different technologies in order to build these things, like everything that we compete between each other with. What if you use that as the key to like educate others, so that say that Spotify goes to the Lunar page to learn how we do things. What if then Spotify employees is like, oh, these are the cool things that I learned from Lunar. Maybe, just maybe, I should have a look into what they're doing to be a part of them. Like, what if that could be a little magnet that you
That's the thing, yeah. I think that's
tweak?
Yeah, the more you can, like, it's all about attention and like making, you know, stuff interesting. And I think that's a really good, smart thing to do, because then you get that top talent to read your stuff if you dare to be a bit more out there.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean that you have to, like, you know, reveal everything. That's not it. But what if you can create cool content that is really rich on value to that audience, that high top talent, whatever, in whatever market it might be, and you educate them on what you're doing, kind of going against this. These are all the cool things that we're doing, and showing it instead, and actually like, okay, so you really want to learn how to work with spreadsheets and how to collect your data.
Yeah.
Well, this is how I do. Like, just like bring someone under your wings, because that could be a great way for someone who's just starting their career to like, shit, I learned a lot from Martin. He's really good at this. Yeah. But it's also a way for you to sell the product. It's also a way for you to like educate peers. Like, I can look at that and be like, that's really cool. I haven't thought about that. Super. I'm going to steal that, copy paste it into my work, and like keep on learning.
Exactly.
Because isn't that really the key, that you want to work with passionate and talented people that you can learn from?
Yeah.
I mean, when someone's truly talented about something, it could be coffee, it could be cameras, it could be whatever. Doesn't that make you a little bit like, that's super?
Makes it fun and like, yeah.
Yeah, because someone is like, do you know why I selected these microphones? Because they're better than these because of this and this and that. Like,
it's about connecting the dots, you know, connecting people to each other. So
isn't that someone's slogan, connecting people? Microsoft? No, I don't know. It feels like a good one.
It probably is. Yeah.
Now it feels like Nokia, you know, like back in the days, like connecting
people. I don't know. Facebook.
Yeah.
Could be Facebook. Yeah, Facebook. It probably is.
It probably is Facebook.
Yeah. Oh, Meta. But speaking of career side, so I have basically only worked in Teamtailor, which I have a history with. If you listen to the podcast, you know.
We love you.
We love you. Ish. But have you experienced working in any different? And is it because Teamtailor is like Teamtailor is good because you can create a lot of yourself. You don't have to have any front end developer or whatever. And I'm kind of curious because there's some ATS system that's super good in the back end and all that stuff, you know, data. But I don't think anyone is nearly as competitive in the whole solution, creating your own page as Teamtailor. Like everyone uses it. If you don't have a dedicated front end developer in your talent team, which would be amazing.
Yeah, that would be great.
That would be amazing. Cool. I mean, but imagine that. Imagine the things you could do if we I'm hopefully we come there one day. I would love to work in an organization where I have like content creators, front end developer,
copywriters. Can we have copywriters?
Yeah, content like video, photo person, copywriter, a front end developer. Man, that team could fucking move mountains.
Isn't that the future TA team?
Yeah, probably.
And then have someone who's okay. Now we're losing track, but yes, that is the future. That is the future.
Yeah. No, but exactly. But what's your experience with the comes to ATS system?
I have only used Teamtailor.
Yeah, you too. Damn, Teamtailor.
Yeah, they're everywhere. Good job though. Good job. They're everywhere.
Yeah.
No, but I have only designed myself, like the flow and everything, and the pages, working with Teamtailor. But right now, what I'm looking perhaps to do or investigating to do is to, you know, sometimes companies have, so if you go to Spotify, stupid example, I always take Spotify.
Yeah.
Can we go to IKEA? That's what I started with.
What?
IKEA.
You started working at IKEA?
No. But when we started a podcast, I always reference IKEA.
I need to look. You need to find another company.
Bauhaus. Let's find Bauhaus. Let's go to Bauhaus product page. Like you just Google Bauhaus, you go in there. You know, some companies have like if you scroll all the way down to the end, you have career. And that, if you press that, you can be taken to Teamtailor.
Yeah.
Or an intern, like you still stay on the same page, but it's just a sub page. What if you build that page instead?
Yeah.
Instead of the career page on your ATS, and just use your ATS as like a ATS, like an application tracking system, rather than
you can make it so if you click apply now on the like that sub page, it lands directly into the Teamtailor.
Exactly.
So it you still have the ATS part of it.
Yeah, exactly. You need that because you need to collect your applications and everything. Yeah. Like that's your whole conversion thingy. So keep that. No, but what if? Because then you have a lot of like you have the freedom to design it the way you want it. Do you know what I mean?
And it feels more unified with the whole page.
Exactly, because then you're really staying on brand or with the whole design. You keep people on the same page. You can then easily guide them to like, you want to know about our products, this is really what we're doing. Like you can guide them into the different pages that you already have, and then simply say that, these are our teams, get to know TA team. Actually, we have 2 openings, or see the current openings in the TA team. Boom, you press that, go straight to Teamtailor, whatever ATS you use, and then you apply. But what if you spend time building that page?
This is the perfect way to do it.
Instead of spending all your time on pushing content and designing Teamtailor. I'm not saying one is better than the other, but I'm just...
I totally agree with you. If you have the capacity to do that, you should do that.
And also like that marketing probably owns the bigger...
Exactly.
So again, it's like the ownership, collaboration part.
Exactly. But I think that would I'm not saying, from a customer perspective, it's probably good as well, because you get the insight into the culture of the company you're going to purchase something from. So I think everyone wins on it, but it's not. It's usually very low prioritized, and it usually requires, depending how the website is built, it requires a front end developer or something. So
100%. But what if you can find that collaboration? Because then you can still create all the content yourself. You can write all the copy. Yeah. You can together with 100%. Marketing just ask like, okay, does this page host video? Probably does. So
probably does, yeah.
Pretty. Cool. Then I'm gonna do a couple of videos showing around the office, MTV style. Welcome to my crib. Yeah. Whatever it might be.
But Spotify and like Klarna, they have exactly this. They have like everything is unified kind of.
So everything is still on their product.
Original. Or maybe it's another domain. I don't know. But it looks very seamless. It feels very seamless.
Yeah, because sometimes when you go to...
It's very obvious when you go into the Team Taylor page.
Yeah.
It's super obvious.
And then it's like, I'm on Team Taylor.
Yeah, exactly. It's
and
like,
that page could be whatever. That could be Funnel. That could be Lunar. That could be X company.
Yeah, so it's, I mean, we're speaking a lot about differentiation and stuff like that. And Team Taylor makes it a lot that everything looks the same, unfortunately.
Yeah, and I mean, they give an awesome product for people to start working with it. So, and it's really easy to build your page flows. It's really easy to just dump content in there, but there are limitations in it. For example, they have so that you can have, for example, videos or other types of content on your job ads. Perfect, great. But there's no way to measure who is actually pressing the video. So you don't know how many people have seen the video.
Trust me on this. I know. Yeah, but I think that's the one of the things that Team Taylor is lacking. The way of, because we always look at, especially now in times where budgets are cut in half, or like even you get a fourth what you did a year ago. Measuring and be able to measure and getting that raw data out should be like a no-brainer. Like that should be a part of their offering, but there's not. So that's why I think there are other. I have only worked in this ATS system, but I know what I've heard from other people, like Greenhouse, for example.
Yeah, I've heard Greenhouse is really good with data.
So I would just if you work in Greenhouse or something similar and have a setup where you can measure a lot of data and stuff, please reach out. I would love to know. I don't want to see the data, but just I want to understand how it works better. I don't want to be reached out by Greenhouse itself. I want to be reached out by like a user.
Yep.
Because I want to know and understand. Because working in Stockholm with tech companies, it's usually Team Taylor. So
yeah, it would be so cool if we had like, I'm working with this ATS and you have that ATS, because then you can kind of compare the different
and like get
things
inspiration.
you get. Now we're in the same boat.
Everyone is in the same boat and it's sinking slowly.
All right, cool.
But I have another question. Speaking of of career side, the application phase. When I started working in my career, there was always you have to have a CV, and you have a CV, and you have to have a personal
cover letter.
And I remember I was like, I hate this. I mean,
forget it.
I suck at when I got my first job at Ads, they had a cover letter. You have to have it, but I just posted a link to a YouTube video in it, where I like recorded myself.
Did you get the job or not?
I did get the job.
Yes, there you go.
No, and like it was basically, so I cut myself into. They had a video on their page, which was like a homage to the Office intro. They made it all. So in the end, I cut myself into that.
Oh.
So I added myself into it, like looking like I was working there, and then I switched over to like I was sitting talking into the camera, saying, "Hey, my name is Martin. I've done this and this and this. I would love to work for you guys. I've seen that the things you do looks amazing. Please reach out to me if you're interested." And they did, and then eventually going through the whole recruitment process, that's what made me get the job, because I stood out from the other people. So with that said, like cover letter for me was big no. I was always like, I didn't know what to write. I was just, it always feels like you're like, blah, 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 I do this and this. It's very hard to be very unique in it. And I think it's a lot easier to express yourself in video. But that's not the point. But cover letters, I feel like that's kind of died now. It's only lawyers and some, tough entry level that you need to have them for.
Which is stupid. Like for entry level, I worked at Espresso House.
Yeah, and I have this, just skip
just
it.
no.
CV, I can understand. But I've seen more and more companies encouraging just sharing your LinkedIn profile, pretty much.
Yeah.
Because in the end, like you just want to get an overview, where they have worked and what positions. And if you seem relevant, they will reach out to you
to learn more.
But I feel like if you're working, for example, you're an UX designer, you are a content creator, I don't know, a coder, whatever, instead of like just including a link, like include some work you've done. Show
like portfolio.
Yeah,
type.
but I mean, that's the thing you should need. Like, that's the way the real different, and that they can actually do some research in, and that will give you a better experience, and the candidate, like everyone will win on it. So I think we need to move away from CVs and cover letters and stuff like that, and focus more on what have people actually done and if they can showcase it. And don't say to me, I don't know how to make it. Like, you can easily make a portfolio. And if you're working in something that is graphic, you should be able to do it. I understand if you're working, I don't know, in finance, it may be tough.
Here's my spreadsheet.
No, but that could pretty
loss.
much be something. It's not a stupid idea. If you want to differentiate yourself, that's the reason. Do it.
Yeah.
But so, I mean, people need to be a bit more creative here. But what's your, how do you guys do it?
So this is where we need to start talking about.
But you're a bank, so I feel like you have cover letters and you look at high school grades and stuff like that.
No, we don't. Cut that. No, but one personal opinion before we get into what we do is that I hate people's resumes and CVs because they're so freaking ugly. People cannot put down what they've done in a clear way.
And they put down everything.
Right now, I'm in every field. I've seen CVs being sent this year that I'm like, come on, what is this? So I'd rather actually have people linking their LinkedIn. Yeah. Because LinkedIn have a unified model of how they...
exactly how,
And if you don't use LinkedIn, you don't... Just steal their concept to on the top, you have what you're doing right now.
Not the other frustration here.
But it's so funny that people, when they apply for jobs, they put I started Espresso House as a barista at 2011.
Yeah, then I worked at McDonald's. But what? Okay.
You really have to scroll their history, get down to today I'm a software engineer, and it's that would have been awesome to know from the start. But thank you.
Yeah. Isn't that the biggest lie, that you should include everything you have done? Because
who cares about what school you went to?
Exactly, and not even some. I know a lot of people remove that part just because for bias and stuff like that. But I was always told when I was young that working at McDonald's, which is back then maybe was a good thing. You get good jobs in the future because you can show that you're stress intolerant or whatever. And I feel now I don't. Okay, maybe that's the first job, but then otherwise it's doesn't really take the experience that is relevant for this job, include that, and exclude everything. It will look clean, and the people that are reading it will be oh, this looks nice, and this person knows what he or she is doing. Yeah.
My advice would be to a candidate looking for a job: spend some time on your LinkedIn page, build that pretty rich. So what have you done? What's your focus? What is it that you like doing? And keep it to that.
Yeah.
Just download it as a PDF or send a link when you apply for jobs. But then when it comes to Lunar, what we do is that we ask you to insert your LinkedIn and then leave it optional to send in your resume. And then we want your phone number and contact details so that we can actually reach out.
But that's the
So then if people want to share their life story in a cover letter, please do. But we don't ask for it, and not really on how many reads that and everything. But if one really wants to, you're more than happy to share it. But we only request that you share some sort of information on what you've done before.
I'm surprised there's no more unified way of, if you probably purchased stuff with Klarna.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
and you know how easy it is to convert.
Yeah.
To making purchase. It takes 5 minutes, not even 2 seconds to my. I'm surprised there's no unified solution that you can implement on your career page that makes you can have your CV uploaded, your LinkedIn upload, everything up to date, and you can apply. But maybe that's
should it be connected to your personal number?
I don't know, but
you need maybe one should apply with bank ID, and I don't know how to capture the information behind that, but then you really know from the beginning who you're talking to.
Yeah, exactly.
Because say, for example, when you're working at a bank...
not Swedish? But I think that...
You caught me there, my friend.
There's a company called JobTip, It's a Gothenburg represent company, and they have like a solution where they create landing pages and they create campaigns for hiring, so job ads pretty much. And they have a way of, when you like just read the job ad and then you scroll down, and then you can just like apply with your LinkedIn, and then you just write in your name like Martin Sly, and my LinkedIn profile appears. I can just click that and then apply. I don't know how they do it, smooth. But it's super fucking smooth. It must convert a lot.
I think this is like a no-brainer that the whole application system cannot be too complicated. Yeah. Like I don't think that's news to anyone.
No,
yet
but
it's
still
freaking complicated, and I get mad about that. But I think that's bad employer branding. Let's be honest here. When you say you're an innovative tech company, and you're like, please have your grades, your cover letter.
You need to create an account to apply.
Get out of here. That's when I'm like, no,
I'm not gonna work for this company. And then it's like, imagine how many candidates you lose on that.
Yeah, and people still have it.
Yeah, but
so the thing is that
big ATS systems, work day or whatever.
We get so worked up. Look at our waves.
Yeah, it's the longest episode ever, 46 minutes. Yeah.
We need to cut
we need to cut this out because you probably have meetings and stuff.
I have a lot of
things. And I'm heading to the gym. I think that there is a huge problem when it comes to career sites.
Yeah.
There are good ATS systems. I mean, Teamtailor, even though with my opinion can be sometimes, they're still the best. Hats off to that. But I think that I think you should treat it more as, not an e-commerce, but in that way. And look on what the candidate wants and not what you think they want. Like, actually talk to them and ask employees and whatever. And you're probably going to have a better kind of experience. And then skip cover letters or whatever.
Yeah, please
Keep CV optional, or not even, like, you can skip that even.
Skip it.
And just have LinkedIn. Most people have LinkedIn these days. If they don't, you probably...
Guide them in how to do it.
Honestly, you probably maybe don't want it anyway. So, depending on what the role is. Exactly. So, that's my personal opinion. Do you want to add to my personal opinion?
No, I don't want to add to your personal opinion, but I don't know if we got anywhere with this. But if anyone wants to keep on talking about career pages and what you should do or what you could do, please share ideas with us. Because, I mean, again, this is very much an open room. We just want to see what's out there, to see what's, like, what will a career page look like in the future? That's the answer I want. And there is no. So
there's not.
Add to it. And we'll see.
Yeah, and reach out like to us in DM on LinkedIn or whatever.
Yeah, and follow us. LinkedIn, and you can find our amazing podcast wherever you listen to podcast. Follow it, give it a star or a heart, whatever it might be.
A star, 5 stars, hopefully.
Ooh, yes.
Not 1.
Yeah.
If you like it,
give it some love, and tell your friends, because we're back.
Friends, we're back. This is a new year. It's gonna be an epic podcast year. Looking forward to it.
Good.
Cool.
All right, my friend, gotta go.
Bye.